Alright, today we are going to talk some Battletech. We're going to go through the medium mechs available in Battletech Firestorm. In this video we're going to talk about the characteristics of each so far as their stock configurations, and I will go through some basics on how they compare to their book version. Right here we have the Arctic Wolf stock. As you can see, it's obviously the Mech Warrior 4 since we're running a version of that. It has an accel of 26.04 and a deceleration of 39.06 with a turn radius of 0.91. And then every medium has a 120-degree torso twist with 70-degree of torso twist speed. The lights generally have a 90-degree torso twist and an 80-degree torso twist speed. The heavies go to 140-degree generally with a 60-degree speed, and the assaults go 160 and 40. So every medium has the same at 120 and 70, so that's not a factor. The Arctic Wolf has a speed of 133.13 with 8 heat sinks, light amplification, and jump jets. It is armed with 4 clan streak 4s as well as 2 clan small pulse lasers. When we go to its armor, you'll see it is running ferrofibrous with a grand total of 244 points. Legs are almost full at 36 each. So this mech is extremely difficult to leg. If you just go for the middle mast, you'll do a lot more damage. The other issue with fighting this mech is those missile racks are specials, so you can't kill it through the missile racks. Arctic Wolf excels at nothing so far as its stats. It is a great missile mech. So we can look at its grouping, and you can see standard grouping, 2 small pulse, and 4 streak 4s. Alright, so the next mech we're going to talk about is the Assassin II. Its acceleration is only 16.86. Its deceleration, however, is 24.79, both weaker than the Arctic Wolf. Its turn radius, however, is the best out of all the medium mechs at 1.40, and it runs 133.49, negligible in comparison to the Arctic Wolf. 6 single heat sinks, comes with light amp. Weapon-wise, not a whole lot. If we look at it, we got 2 Intersphere small lasers, 2 Intersphere medium lasers, 2 SRM4s, and an LRM5. Compared to book version, that's phenomenal. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but there it is. Armor-wise, 261 points of ferrofibrous. You can see its legs, a little bit weaker than the Arctic Wolf, and in my opinion, it's the easiest way to take this mech out. So that's the Assassin II. It is by far the best turn radius of any of the medium mechs. The closest coming is actually the Chimera, which we'll go to now. So this is the Chimera, 40 tons, runs 132.05, slightly slower than its counterparts in the 40-ton class. Has 14 single heat sinks. You would think that that would be enough to keep it cool, but not with its weapons loadout. Does come with an active probe as well as jump jets. When we go to the weapons, instead of giving it a MRM like it normally has in the board game, or 1 LRM-20, they give it 4 LRM-5s, 2 medium pulse, and an ER large laser. Kind of comical. We'll see the grouping on that. Always comes as standard configurations with all direct fire on 1 and all missiles on 2, and then if you have a narc, it'll be on 3. Armor-wise, we'll look at it over here. You'll see it has 248 points. Legs, same as the Assassin, but weaker than the Arctic Wolf. And center torso, same at about 35. So nothing spectacular there, 248 points. So the next mech we're going to talk about is the Hollander. The Hollander is the fastest medium mech at 136.26 kph. Has 12 single heat sinks, light amplification. Weapon-wise, of course, if you have a Hollander, you have to give it a gauze. So it has a gauze, 3 medium pulse, and 2 small pulse. Unlike the board game version, which has the medium and the SRM2, this one's fairly great so far as its punch. It really does have a good punch. 16 rounds on that gauze. Armor-wise, 261 points. Same 32 on the legs as the other 40-tonners, but this one's 45. So nothing spectacular, but its panels are so goofy. It has its gun panel. We can look at them here. You have its gun rack and its beam rack that count separate from the center torso and the side torso, so it's pretty easy to blow off the gauze. But heat efficiency with those medium pulse, not that great. Next is the Hellspawn. We have acceleration 17.59, decel 26.39, turn radius 105, normal standard of all the other, 124.09. Nothing great, nothing spectacular, 10 single heat sinks. Does come with ECM, light amp, and jump jets. You can see its heat efficiency is crap. Go to its weapons. We have 2 medium pulse, a large pulse, 2 streak 2, and an LRM-10. Far different than its board game version. I mean, what the heck is it doing with a large pulse and not MRMs? I'll never know. You can see it does have a missile rack And if we actually look at it, there's a missile rack, it's side torsos. It's kind of difficult to hit when you're actually aiming at it because the center torso is off to the side. It kind of goes in this weird shape like that. Armor-wise, standard armor, only 197 points. This thing, you can easily sneeze on it and destroy it. Really doesn't have a whole lot. 25 in each leg. Feel free to leg this thing. It acts like a light. 36 in the center, 27 each side. I mean, this thing's weak. It is, in my opinion, one of the weakest mediums out there. So, that's something we're going to play around with, come up with a better loadout. But, there's your Hellspawn. The next mech we're going to talk about is the Shadowcat. Shadowcat runs 132.05, the exact same as the Chimera. 10 single heat sinks, does come with jump jets and a beagle, does not come with light amplification. And you can see its turn radius, it has a 17.96 on its acceleration, has 26.94, 1.13 on its turn radius, and again the normal 120 and 70. Does not outclass anybody in this, but where it's really powerful is its weapons. 2 medium pulse clan with a clan gauze rifle and 2 clan streak 4s make this a deadly punch. When you compare it to the book version is 2 ER mediums with a gauze. This one upgrades the mediums to medium pulses and then gives it 2 streak 4s on top of it. True, you don't have the mask, but I mean, you run 132, you really don't need a mask. Armor-wise, comes in at 261 points, same on the legs, a little bit more in the center torso. It is 45 tons. I mean, in my opinion, this is the best medium mech for if you don't know the situation. And to get this loadout, you'd really need to go with a heavy to upgrade it, just to even get its weapons loadout if you're going book version. Alright, next, the Hunchback. 10 single heat sinks, 116.06, the second slowest of any of the mediums. Comes with ECM and light amplification, 10 heat sinks. 7.78 on its Ceil, 11.67 on its deceleration, 1.05 turn radius with the normal so far as torso twist. Weapon-wise, small laser, 4 medium lasers, and an AC-10. When we look at its rounds, does have 20 shots of the AC-10 and the 4 mediums with the small. Very similar to the book version. Look at its armor-wise, 283 points of armor. It's pretty well spread out, except the center torso does have 48, but boy is that thing easy to hit. I really wish that it had more armor in the center and sacrificed the side torsos. Next mech we're going to look at is the Blackhawk, 50 tons. Comes in at 112.88. It is the slowest medium mech. Next we have the 12 single heat sinks, no jump jets. We do have light amplification. Under our weapons, just direct fire lasers, 2 medium pulse, 2 ER PPCs. Very similar to the book version of like the Blackhawk KU, but close. You'll see all these extra racks and stuff that aren't used on the stock. Armor-wise, 292 points. Its legs have as much armor as the Arctic Wolf for a 50-tonner. And its center torso has 45 points. I mean, come on. That thing is a pain in the butt to kill. Where the Blackhawk is not great, it does have an Ceil of 13.74. And that is not the slowest, but it is pretty low. 20.61 deceleration. 1.05 turn radius, and then the normal torso. Nothing spectacular, nothing really weak. Wish it jumped, it doesn't. Good sniper. Nice thing is having torso twist versus the 4.0 version with the floating crosshair. So, we're going to talk about the broken Hellhound. Let's go down here to the top speed, 122.08. Not the slowest, not the fastest, right down the middle. 70 and 120, of course, all of that. Look at that acceleration, 34.72. That is off the charts compared to other medium mechs. The closest to it is the Arctic Wolf at 26.04. Not even near it, though. That thing's acceleration is insane for how fast it can go and stop on a dime. And then its deceleration, I mean, come on. Coming in at 52.08 meters a second. This thing is so maneuverable. It is crazy. Turn radius, however, is very weak at 0.79. It does tie the Black Lantern, Bushwacker, and Ryokan at 55 tons, but this one being only a 50 has the exact same turn radius. But it's stop and go. If somebody's targeting you, use your throttle and you can really throw off their aim. We go to its weapons. Unlike the board game version, so its normal board game version is nothing like this. Board game version comes with a large pulse, 2 SRM2 streaks, and a couple mediums. This one, 3 medium pulse, an Ultra AC2, an Ultra AC5, and an LRM10. If you have good aim, this one's crazy so far as the amount of damage you can put down. Where it's weak, 12 single heat sinks. Armor-wise, 292 points. Again, 36 in the legs each and 45 in the center torso. This thing can take a beating. And we look at where the weapons are located as well as the number of rounds. The LRM-10 has 12 shots. Ultra 2, well, it doesn't have 45 because it fires 2 each. So you have about 22 shots, and then you have 10 shots of the Ultra 5, and then you have your 3 medium pulse that sit on each arm. This thing is crazy, but in my opinion, the Shadow Cat can still outpunch this, because if this one you stay on its weapons too much, it'll overheat pretty bad. Next in class is the Ceil. Coming in with 10 single heat sinks, run 125.10 and jump jets. No other special fun toys. We have 7.78 on its Excel, 11.67 on its deceleration, 0.91 on its turn radius, and the same torso twist. Nothing spectacular. This Mech's Achilles heel is the size of its panels. You can go through it very easily. On its loadout, instead of the standard 2 PPCs with an SRM-6 and a couple machine guns, we have 2 small pulse, the 2 machine guns, the PPC, adding an Ultra 5 and an LRM-10 instead of the SRM-6. Pretty good punch, doesn't have the heat efficiency for it. Armor-wise, standard armor, coming in at 269 points. Legs, very weak for its size. Center torso, critically weak. You can plow through this thing. Those side torsos are easy to hit, but the center torso, being this giant mass right here, also just as easy to hit. The SRM volley up top, the missile rack, is its own separate, but when you can go through the entire center or crotch, this entire area, you can go through this mech very easily. It's a very poor chassis to have this little armor on it in those sections. It's the last of our 50-tonners. Let's talk about the Black Lantern next. Black Lantern comes with ECM and light amp, unable to mount jump jets. I mean, this thing's legs are gigantic. So we have 10 single heat sinks running in at 121.89. We have 13.74 on our acceleration, 23.61 on our decel, 0.79 on our turn radius, which all of the 55-tonners have this. Out of the 55-tonners, it is the slowest so far as acceleration, and it is matching exactly with the deceleration. Weapon-wise, we have 2 medium lasers, an ER large, an SRM-6, and an LRM-10. For 55 tons, that's pretty dang weak compared to what we saw earlier on the other ones. Not a whole lot of punch. Go to its armor, 302. And I gotta tell you, this thing has so many random panels when we look at it. We've got a missile rack, 2 missile racks on each side, plus you have the center. Panels are all over the place in the center. Armor-wise, when we looked at that, you do have 38 in each leg, and center torso has 43, 39 in each side. This thing is a pain in the ass to actually get shots on center. So legs are a good way to go, but with 38, you're going to be hammering through them for a little bit. But it doesn't have the punch to really do much to you. Next up, we're going to look at the Bushwacker. Second to the last of our 55-tonners. We coming in with 11 single heat sinks, 126.86. Has the exact same speed as the Ryokan. We come in with an acceleration of 15.74, decel 23.61, turn radius 0.79. That's what all 55-tonners have. And the exact same torso, of course. Light amp, unable to mount jump jets. Can do a lot of the other fun stuff, but it doesn't have it. We look at the weapons. We have our 2 medium lasers. We have an ER large, 2 machine guns, AC-10, 2 LRM-5s. So we compare this to the X1, for instance. 2 LRM-5s. Yep, X1 has that. AC-10. Yep, X1 has that. 2 machine guns. And the large laser. So everything from here down is the X1 version in the board game, and we just add 2 more medium lasers. Well, if you know the heat in the board game, adding 2 more medium lasers, no additional heat sinks, makes this thing run pretty dang warm. Armor-wise, we have 315 points of armor on this thing. Comes with 41 in each leg, 51 in the center torso. This thing can take a beating, 43 in each side torso, and its arms are the weakest on this chassis. Much like the board game. Ferrofibrous armor, good all around. This one's just kind of a brawler. It can, typically when I run it, I turn off the large except for long range. Slave the machine guns with the AC, mediums on their own on chain, and LRMs just for fun to upset people. Last medium mech we're going to look at is, well, it's the last one in the game. It's the Ryokan. Only 10 single heat sinks on this mech. That's its main weakness. Has 126.86 on its speed. We have ECM. Great to sneak up on people. Light amplification and jump jets. So, when we compare this to the Ryokan A, you're going to see that the reason this has jump jets is because it doesn't have its LRM-20. Come in with an acceleration of 15.74, 23.61 on its decel, turn radius of 0.79, and it's, of course, normal torso. Doesn't excel at anything. Doesn't have any real known weaknesses other than heat efficiency. We go to the weapon-wise. We have 2 Clan Streak 6, each with 15 rounds, and 4 Clan Medium Pulse lasers. It is exactly like the A variant of the board game Ryokan, except it drops the LRM-20. That's where it gets the ECM and the jump jets in place of the LRM-20. Armor-wise, ferrofibrous, 302 points. We have 43 in the center, 39 in each side, and 38 in each location of the leg. This thing, again, can take some beating. The problem, again, that comes out with this is it cannot fire everything and actually do well. Holding down the 2 Streak 6 will do great, but if you are against a mech with AMS, you're pretty much done. Because your medium pulse, you can only fire about 2 of them and not start heating up. I typically run it both streaks on one. I put 2 medium pulse on one trigger, 2 medium on the other one, and I'll just run around and fire these as come up, but give them a couple seconds in between. So, as you can see, with all the stock mechs that are in Battletech Firestorm, they're pretty close to their board game versions, with adding maybe a weapon or 2 here or there, but that's where the Shadowcat is really just stands out. To not only upgrade the medium lasers to medium pulse, but give it 2 Streak 4s, it really gets a good lift. The Hellhound, if you're facing a Hellhound in a duel, and that pilot knows throttle control, you're gonna hate life. That thing is so ridiculous to hit. It can start and stop on a dime. Its turning radius is crap, but the rest is amazing. There you go. There's the medium mechs, and you can scroll through this list and pause it as you need. Here's all the mechs that are in Battletech Firestorm. You can pause it and read it as you go. One notable one is the Battlemaster. There's the Battlemaster and the Battlemaster 2C, Behemoth and the Behemoth 2. So Battlemaster looks like this with Gigantor, big gun. Battlemaster 2 looks like this with 2 twin guns. Behemoth, you have the regular Behemoth, Stone Rhino, looks like that. Then we have the Behemoth 2. Really no major difference other than the dorsal gun and the side guns. Anyway, we'll continue down. All the way down a catapult. There's all those. More mechs. This game does focus more on assaults than anything else. And of course, the greatest mech of all. Can never go wrong with it. The trash can itself. The urban mech of doom. Let me know if you enjoy these. I'll go through each class if you'd like. The interesting thing with the Battletech Firestorm version of the game versus, or the Mech Lab versus Mech Warrior 4, as you can see, I have tons of available tonnage on any mech I select. You can see even on the 2C version I still have. It just lets me have some fun with weapons and go through them. Hope you enjoyed this. Take it easy.